Welcome to Fucked Up News with a Metalhead, Part 2. I am your host, as usual, Psycho Face. Well, I don't know about as usual, it's the second time I've done this, so, we're gonna look at some fucked up shit that's going on out in the world today, or tomorrow, or yesterday, or whenever it happened. And, yeah. There's a lot of fucked up shit happening constantly, like something fucking awful off the wall is happening right now. Possibly in your very own home. You sick motherfucker. Anyway, let's jump right into it. Let's see what we got here. Where are we at? There it is. I'll use my news voice. An Oklahoma man who lured victim to remote cabin for castration says he's a cannibal. So to sum that up for you, he's gonna cut the balls off, then he's probably gonna eat them. He ain't even gonna buy you a drink. Let's see. Bob Lee Allen, his assistant, Thomas Evan Gates, are facing felony charges of conspiracy to commit and perform unlicensed surgery, battery, maiming, and assault. What do we got? Here's a picture of the guy. That is a motherfucking character. You gonna let that dude put his hands on your balls and then cut them off? Someone did. In Oklahoma, a 28-year-old recently arrived at a hospital with a bloody groin and a terrifying tale. They said two men had surgically removed their testicles in a remote cabin in the woods. Now that sounds like a horror movie, baby. One of whom said he was a cannibal who stored body parts in his freezer. A good horror movie. According to The Independent, last week's shocking incident led sheriff's deputies on a thorough investigation of the cabin, where they found medical equipment, bloody towels, and tissues, and drugs, and a pair of frozen testicles in a bag. So they went from a ball bag to a plastic bag. Naturally, this story has the town in shock. I would hope so. I hope they're hugging their babies tight. By babies, I mean their balls. I can't say it's cult activity, LeFleur County Sheriff Rodney Derryberry told Oklahoma. Motherfucking Derryberry. Okay. It is something we have never in my career run across in this part of the country. We know there's a lot of rumors out there, but at this time there's no danger to the public, or their nutsacks. Surprisingly, this was not an involuntary procedure. The victim sought out an unregulated castration online and hired 53-year-old Bob Lee Allen to perform one. The affidavit said the pair met on a website that specifically advertised such services before they pivoted to Skype for a conversation. So this dude was looking for somebody to cut his balls off, and he saw this guy and said, "Yo, cut my balls off, baby." And that dude was like, "I'll do it, baby. I got you, man. Let me cut them nuts off. I'll be real gentle till I'm not." Allen allegedly told his prospective patient that he had 15 years of experience with similar surgeries and would be more than willing to castrate the Virginian free of charge, assisted by his friend 42-year-old Thomas Evan Gates. Allen also indicated that he would tape the procedure for personal use. Kind of personal use, huh? Alright, about to freestyle some shit on this right now, just for you. You gon' love it. Allow me to cut off your ball bag. You won't need those anymore. Your nutsack you used to be proud of, now you'll cast it out the door. Oh, where'd my ball sack go? You stupid motherfucker, got him cut off. Oh shit. Here's the other guy. Look at this fucking guy. Look at this fucking guy right here, man. Look at him. Thomas Evan Gates served as an assistant who handed this dude his balls. Meeting face to face for the first time, the pair left the airport and hit the road. The commute was long and winding, taking them past small Oklahoma towns like Winding? Was it Winding or the Winding? Whatever. An Oklahoma towns like Wister to the isolated outskirts beyond. The surgery occurred the next day, October 12th. So he chill and hang out with these guys before, let him cut off his balls. Yeah, man, let's just go have a couple cobras and we'll discuss how we're gonna cut off your nuts. Cool. Details of the operation itself remain scarce, though enough is known to make responsible physicians groan in frustration. Oh, somebody was groaning in frustration. Allen began by injecting the patient with localized painkillers, then opened their scrotum with a blade and removed their testes. Oh God. Gates, meanwhile, served as an assistant, handing Allen equipment. The procedure spanned 2 hours and rapidly turned dark. I'll fucking say, it turned dark. It turned dark before it started, okay? The victim told investigators that Allen laughed and said that he was a cannibal. They also informed police of the freezer littered with body parts. None of the limbs or organs have yet been identified or publicly disclosed, besides the frozen pair of balls. Incredibly, the incident got even grimmer. Allen allegedly told his patient that he had once killed a man doing a similar surgery. So, you gonna let a dude that killed a dude cut off your balls? And possibly kill you. Hey. According to the victim's account, he worked on someone that he described to be crazy and that he left the male open up to die overnight. Allen also bragged that his services were in such high demand that he already had 6 others lined up for future operations. Soon after the surgery, the victim fell asleep. Yeah. Flung back to reality on October 13th, the victim was informed that they passed out because Allen and Gates were unable to stop their heavy bleeding. Though Allen was initially opposed to contacting authorities, his no ER, no morgue stance rapidly changed. Back on the road, the duo headed for McAllister, Oklahoma. Allen allegedly warned the castrated victim that he would dump them in the woods if they died. An ominous threat suggesting this might have happened before. The day after the victim was admitted to the hospital, staff notified police and provided them with the address of Allen's cabin. Sheriff deputies searched the place on October 15th and found it littered with evidence that included computer flash drives. It didn't take much for police to arrest Allen and Gates, and they unwittingly delivered themselves to the law by showing up at the hospital. As it stands, they face additional felony counts of battery with a dangerous weapon, maiming, and assault, and misdemeanor charges of failing to bury body parts. They failed to bury body parts, but they cut that motherfucker's nuts off. Hey, it's the internet, baby. You can find whatever you want. You can get laid, you can get killed, you can get your nuts cut off, you can get a nice used sofa, you can do a lot of stuff. But, it's all, that's the thing. So I'll tell you right now, if you got something attached to you, don't get it cut off. Don't go on the internet to get it cut off. Don't find some random motherfucker to cut your shit off, whatever it is that you may be wanting to get cut off, okay? Just don't do it. In Oklahoma, a 28-year-old man In Oklahoma, a 28-year-old recently arrived at a hospital with a bloody groin and a terrifying tale. They said 2 men had surgically removed their testicles. In Oklahoma, a 28-year-old motherfucker, man. In Oklahoma, a 28-year-old fuck you.